want to take you back to 2005. So in the early 2000s is when I kind of started getting my stride as far as gaming goes, with NASCAR Racing 2003 being my first kind of dedicated thing, mainly because we did LAN parties. So between that and Call of Duty and not having internet at my house, I used to host LAN parties for up to 32 people. They would bring their computers over Friday. I would set up the network, get a couple servers going, and that was basically my gist of gaming. We'd play either Madden on Saturdays or Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. Well, not Modern Warfare, but Medal of Honor. You know, we do first-person shooters, arena shooter type stuff, or we do Madden. But I get internet probably 2003 to where I live, and at the time I was like 27 years old, and I was walking through Walmart or so, and I was trying to find the next game, like something I could get into that would help pass my time. I mean, I was racing in leagues online, you know, a night a week or whatever, but I needed something else, something to do. And as I'm browsing through, I came across the Guild Wars Prophecy box, and I'm like looking at the back, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. I want to say it was like $30, so I bought it. Brought it home, installed it, and my gaming trajectory had changed. I had found this game that would capture like every little thing that I had never experienced before. The weight of going through quests and mechanics, adding heroes to my team. You know, granted it was the NPCs in this game, to finding out that coworkers played this game and talking with them and building a guild with them and just having reasons to play. Not an addiction, but just having something in my life to relax and just enjoy without all the day-to-day stress. And you could say that, you know, starting a guild and all that stuff, but it wasn't really stressful because it was only probably 8 people. The two couples that I worked with, and then their friends, and then it was just me as kind of an outsider. I introduced my daughter to this, and she played for a little while. I introduced a couple friends to it, and it wasn't their thing, and I couldn't understand why, because everything you did was meaningful. You know, like you did quests and you built your character, and you could build your character kind of your own. Like for the most part, when you went into a town, there wasn't another character that looked exactly like yours. The build diversity in this game allowed it so that not every character was a cookie cutter meta character. I had played 8 characters, and I played all the expansion standalones all the way to Eye of the North. I played for probably 6 years religiously, and just absolutely just enjoyed every minute of the game. I love the fact that when you had a quest, there was a long distance to get to it, and there wasn't a lot of stuff to interfere with that. Like when Guild Wars 2 came out, I switched over to play and didn't enjoy that at all. To this day, I still I still can't get into that. I don't want to do jump puzzles to open up vistas. I don't want to be on my way to do a quest and have a world event pop up or a little mini event pop up that distracts me from getting the meaningful content done. And granted, I could ignore it, but it seemed like every time something like that popped up, my character would be chased to the point where I would have to spend, the time cleaning that up. And I didn't enjoy that, so I didn't play. So after not playing this game since 2011, I think, 2011, I switched over and started playing World of Tanks. Much different game. Again with a clan, basically, a group of people, and building up something really cool. So as I've ran through this Rolodex of modern games, I had to stop and ask, why? What is it about modern games that make us want to play? And why is it when we find a modern game, we can't stick with it? Like, I have never played... in the course of my gaming from 2005 until today, there's only 3 games that I can think of that I've played longer than 5 years. There's this game, Guild Wars original, World of Tanks, and the Division 1. Yes, the Division 2 I played pretty religiously over the past few years, but the last couple years, I have lost a lot of interest in it. I randomly pick it up and do just whatever the new content is, and as soon as I'm done with it, then I'm done with it. And so I'm basically just kind of running a maintenance on that game, much like developers do, right? Like this game. This game has maintenance patches and stuff like that done to it, but no new content. And it's entering its 20 years. Its 20-year anniversary next year. So it's like, I wanted to get back into it to get up to level 20, to get a good build going, to see what they were going to bring in, if they were going to bring anything in. So I had my old account, but I no longer had access to my email, my old email and stuff like that, because, a lot of years have gone by. But I managed to get with ArenaNet. I gave them all the names to all 8 of my characters, their main professions that I could remember. Luckily, I did have a screenshot of the loading screen. I don't know where that picture is now. I can't seem to find it. But so they reenacted my account. So I logged back in, and I realized that none of my characters had quests. So I'm like, wow, I must have finished all the quests, and that's crazy. And I could have jumped over and played through some of the other games with them and done some things or whatever, but I wanted to start from scratch, and I didn't want to delete anything. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna buy. So I bought the whole thing again, and I started over. This is a character that I started playing with. I've streamed it a couple nights, and then I switched over and I started up a Nightfall character so that I could actually unlock the heroes and stuff as I went through Kos and Dunkaro and those guys. But it got me thinking. It's like, why do we need modern games when there's so many of these games that don't have all the stuff that we don't like about modern games in them, right? Like procedurally generated maps. This is man-made. Everything here is crafted by developers. There's no microtransactions. There's no subscriptions, and there's plenty to do, And it's like I look at some of the games that are coming out, and I'm like, wow, that looks interesting, And even like Once Human, and I put a poll up, and I probably shouldn't have. I only got 2 votes, but I don't expect to get that many when I only have 87 subscribers, which all 87 of you are important. But it's like I get into a game and I play it, and if I get 60 hours into it, I'm like, yeah, it's enough. Whether or not I finish it or I just get to a point where I just don't want to do it anymore. And I struggle to understand, like, did I play this game for 6 years because there was nothing else to play? Or did I play this game for 6 years because I absolutely enjoyed it? And the challenge of making a build, and then making hero builds, and just playing and just relaxing. And that's kind of the thing. It's like I am just relaxed and enjoying it. And yes, there's a couple moments where I was under leveled and I was trying to do something I shouldn't, and it was a long walk to get there, and I wouldn't give up. But so I don't know. It's like there's so many gems out there, so many really cool games, nostalgic games, I guess. And it's like, is that enough? Is that all we need? Is there any need to get thrown in Liberty when it only has roughly 20 to 30 hours of PvE content, and all the microtransactions and the money grabs and the hungry, just that kind of stuff. It's like I've always been a person that kind of shies away from the AAA stuff. Like I kick myself because I bought the Pandora from Ubisoft there. Can't even think of the name of it. And I'm like, wow, this game's really, really cool. 20 hours into it, I'm like, oh, I can't do it anymore. And the graphics are beautiful, and all the menus and everything is just really top notch. But the game itself is just too, and I hate to say too repetitive, because this game, Guild Wars was repetitive. But it's like I didn't feel like I was gaining anything. I didn't feel like I was building anything. I didn't have a character that I was connecting with. It's like the Division 1. All my characters in Division 1 I connected with somehow, to the point where I bought the game again because I didn't want to delete a character. Division 2, I have one character that I give a shit about as my main character, and then I have 3 others that are just fillers. But I have no desire to make another character and go through the story again, even though I have been trying to make myself do it, because I'm a big deal as far as story goes. I want to be invested, and I want whatever I'm doing to be worth my time. And sometimes I think that's the part that is probably missing. Like, with my poll, I put up a couple of different games. I got 2 votes on the thing for Once Human. And it's like, I'm starting to get to Once Human where it's kind of a rinse and repeat. And what I'm doing doesn't feel meaningful. And getting to that next city and, moving on to the next area just to get that rare crafting material that I need to craft the better weapon and stuff. But there's nothing like it's eagerly wanting me to do more. It's like Horizon Zero Dawn, right? I waited forever to play that game until it went on sale, and then I started playing it. And as I'm playing it, I'm like, this is Far Cry. It's like there's not enough story here. It's more about the open world and just doing the same thing over and over again. And I kind of lost interest in that. And I started playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and that has a story, and I was kind of into that. But for some reason, it wasn't enough to really to hook me. And it's weird because it's like, World of Tanks. I'm an alpha player in World of Tanks, and I log in every year to play that game. The first 10 years, I bet, probably the first 10 years, that's the only game I played. Every night I logged in and played that game. And that's much like Fortnite. I played Fortnite quite a bit too. And it's the same thing. It's repetitive. You jump in, you do the same thing, you get out. And granted, some of the journeys throughout are different. You know, every battle in World of Tanks is different, even though it's the same. It's all in how you use your tactical prowess to make the game work for you. And maybe that's what kept me going with it for all that time. Plus, I also think it had a lot to do with the people I was playing with. Where, once human, I don't have anybody to play with. None of my friends are interested in it. I did get into Valheim for a little bit, which I loved Valheim. But that got ruined because the people that I wanted to play with had more time to play than I did, and they kind of ruined everything for me, you know. And that's why, like Helldivers and Deep Rock Galactic, although I love those games, I can't play them because I don't have enough people interested in playing them with me to keep the game exciting and fun for me. I don't find playing with randoms that much fun. I mean, luckily the Deep Rock Galactic group, they have a really good player base, so you could make friends randomly, but I haven't found a group yet that plays more than one mission and then they disband. But I just have that question that's bugging me. It's like, Guild Wars 2 is definitely worth the money to play in 2024. Now, I've recently updated Guild Wars 2, and Guild Wars 1 does things that I enjoy, where Guild Wars 2 does things that I don't enjoy. And granted, like I was talking to somebody the other day, it's like I don't need to do jumping puzzles. I don't if I wanted to do that, I'd play Super Mario Brothers. And they said, well, just don't do them. I'm like, okay, but that's kind of a missing thing. You know, it's like I got into Final Fantasy 14 and I played right up until I had to do a subscription, and I'm like, this game doesn't interest me enough to do a subscription. I did the same thing with WoW. I played WoW until it got up to level 20, and I'm like, this game doesn't do enough for me to get a subscription. And then I recently played Lord of the Rings online, and I'm like, if I'm gonna do this, I might as well just play Guild Wars, because I know I like that game, and I know I can get into that, and I know I could stick with it. So why should I bother playing something that is relatively the same thing and invest all that time in it if I don't think I'm going to be able to stick with it? So, because I was interested in Throne and Liberty, and then I was like, you know, and I played all the Call of Duties. I played through all the single player missions, and there's not a single Call of Duty I don't like except this last one. It's like a 6-hour, I don't know, it's like a 6-hour single player mission, and all the fun stuff to do in that game is free. So you spend however much I spent on it, only to find out that everything I enjoy doing is the free stuff. And then with all the political propaganda shit that's been put in games lately, I've kind of lost interest in games. Like I am going to buy Black Myth Wukong, and that's not a game that I normally get into. Although I do have Ghost of Tsushima, which I love. I love playing that. I don't stream it. It's not a game I want to stream because I want to enjoy every minute of it. I think the game deserves that. And I feel like if I stream, I'll either be paying too much attention to the game and not enough attention to the people that are kind enough to stop in and visit with me, which is not fair to them. And then I feel like if I spend the time that the people that I want to visit with deserve, then I'm not really getting the gist of the game, or I'm not getting out the game what I need to. So, but I love just a little bit of what I've seen with Black Myth Wukong, that I'm probably going to buy that game. Whether or not I stream it, I don't know. I'm still working on setting up my dual PC, because like even the First Descendant, right? I was big on the First Descendant, and then I started playing it, and I'm like, one, there's certain practices that they do that I'm not really liking, and I just don't have the interest that I thought I was going to have. Like, I feel the gunplay is fun, stuff like that. The characters are cool, but I just was like, I'm not going to spend time into that, because I feel like Synced. I played Synced, loved it, got to a certain point where I hit a roadblock because everybody was leaving it, and then I got to a point where I was having to try to solo everything, and I just didn't. I didn't get into that. So, but I want to know. It's a question. If you're still here, I want to know, like, what is it about the... Is it just the graphics of the new games that intrigue you? Or is it just the wanting something new? Looking for that new shiny coin? I watch a lot of Splattercat Gaming, because the indie games that he looks at are in the price range that I believe in. And I just saw one, the Black Grammar, whatever he just showcased, and it's an RPG, but it's a single player, and I'm gonna pick that game up. It's like $14. I'm gonna pick that up. I want this channel to be more about the indie guys and giving them their shining moments and showcasing their products, rather than the AAA guys that don't really give a shit about us. And it's not the devs in the AAA stuff that don't care about us. It's the money people at the top that don't give a shit about us. So I want to start putting more effort into those that do give a shit about us. You know, I don't know, like, I'm not sure about the Once Human, how they are. I like their monetary stuff. Like I said, the game's pretty cool. I'll probably get back to it Monday and finish out the season based on the votes. But I'm kind of on the fence about being a long-term player. I don't want to do more of the same. I want to go on an adventure. When I play a video game, I want to step away from the real world, and I just want to go on an adventure, and I want to enjoy the adventure. I don't want any daily stuff that we have to deal with to be injected into my game. I just want to play a game and be the best person that I can while I'm playing that game, and go to bed thinking about that game, and then going to work and thinking about the game while I'm at work, and finding that to where, wow, I can't wait, I'll make time, I'll do this, I'll do that. So that's all I got. I want to thank you guys for watching. I know it's a long one, longer than what I probably really wanted to make, but I don't script, I ramble. So I love the fact that I'm almost at 90 subscribers. It may not seem a lot to anybody, but it's big to me. So I'm hoping by the end of the year I can hit the 100, and then I'll reset my goal to 200, and work some baby steps and get my way through it. So anyways, if you hung out on this long, please like and subscribe. If you don't subscribe, at least like. It's free, helps get me out to more people, helps get some more attention to me. And let me know what you think of my new logo and intro. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's pretty cool. So, all right, take care, and we'll see ya.